my dear friends, I hope you are fine and now you are watching this video. Again, we are here with another video for 11th grade students, and I'm going to use Cambridge Think B1 book. And what are we going to do today? We are going to do some exercises about the grammars that in the past I explained you, I taught you, and now we are going to do some grammars according to some topics. For example, today I chose past perfect simple, past simple, and past perfect continuous for you. We are going to do it together. Then maybe if we have time, I will continue with another topics, or not, just we will finish it here. So let's start it. This is our workbook, by the way. So in a brief, so shortly, I want to remind you what are the past simple, past perfect simple, and past perfect continuous. You know that past simple is a time, is a tense in English that we did something in the past. For example, last night. I read a book last night and it's finished. I said the specific time. Yes, last night, for example, I read that book. So it's something that last night is finished. Yes, today is today morning. So last night is finished. I mentioned the specific time last night. So this is past simple. We use the second form of the verb. Yes, past simple form of the verb. Read, read. But what is past perfect continuous? And you know that, for example, we have present perfect continuous also. Present perfect continuous is something that happened in the past, but result is continuing up to now. But what is past perfect simple? Do you remember? If you don't remember, you can also watch the previous videos. I have told you, I taught you, and you can use also that videos again to remember that. Past perfect simple is also something that happened in the past, but before a time, means something in the past that happened before another thing in the past. For example, I said that I had been in Spain when she came. Which one happened first? First, I had been in Spain. Yes, for example, I had been in Spain last month when she came 2 weeks later. Both of them in the past, yes? Both this action finished in the past. But one time in the past, for example, I went there, I had been in Spain before she came. So first I had been there, then another person came. So this is the past perfect simple, is an action that happened before another action in the past. Both of them finished, both of them in the past, but something before. Maybe 1 hour before that, maybe 10 days before that, maybe, I don't know, 20 years before that, but something happened before another action. You will understand it by doing these exercises better. Look at here, and you know how we are going to make the past perfect simple. Had plus past participle form of the verb. Tina had eaten, let's do it a little like this. Tina had eaten 3½ biscuits and was starting on her 4th when she, look at here, Tina had eaten. Why here we use past perfect simple? Because, look at here, had eaten 3½ biscuits and was starting on her 4th. What happened? First, Tina should had eaten 3 biscuits, then going to start 4. Yes? When you want to eat biscuits, when you want to eat cake, for example, first you are going to eat 1, 2, 3, then 4. Yes, it's something normal. So, before starting the 4th one, Tina had eaten 3½ biscuits. It's the same that I told you, one action happened before another action. Tina had eaten 3½ biscuits and was starting on her phone when she started making strange noises. Here we use past simple. Why? Because we talk about had eaten, something happened in the past, had eaten, finished, then was starting on her 4th when she started making strange noise. So these two actions happened after eating it, after having eaten it. So because of that, here we use past simple. Then I looked at her after that. Yes, because it's continue one after each other, we can use past simple. I looked at her and I knew immediately that a large piece of her biscuit had got stuck in her throat. Here, why we use past perfect simple? Look at here. I am going to tell you. I looked at her in the past time. It's finished. And I knew immediately, and I knew when I look at it, when two sentences are one after each other, it means that both of them happened in the past at the same time. I looked at her and I knew immediately that a large piece of her biscuit had got stuck in her throat. So, before I knew it, before I looked it, the large piece of biscuit had stuck here, means it was here. Then I looked at her, then I knew what I understand. So, before I look and I understand, before I knew it, some part of the biscuits are here. Then I looked at her, for example, she's like this, yes? I understand that it had stuck here. Then I remember after that stuck here, past simple, of course, I remember that years ago I had attended a first aid course. So look at here, I remember. Now, further then, I remembered in the past that years ago I had attended, because years ago I had attended a first aid course, then I remember, yes? So this action happened before I remembering something. So because of that we use past perfect simple. I had attended the first aid course and that they had taught us something in the past, yes? Now I said I had attended this course, I had taught this, I had remembered this, then after that in the past, after this action I want to explain something, so it's after that we can use past simple. But something that before to this time in the past, I can use past perfect simple. Then I had taught us how to help someone in this situation. I ran around Tina. After that, yes, past simple, I ran around Tina, put my arms, put. For put where the past simple and past perfect simple, for me past participle form of the verb, both are, three of them are put. Around, put my arms around her waist, join my hand. Look at here, all of them came after this action. So because of that we use past simple. Her waist, joined my hand together in front of her and pulled as hard as I could. Then I heard. After that, again we are explaining whatever happened after this time. After the first time I had attended this course and I had taught, so because we are using all of them, after that we are using present simple. Actions happened after another action. Then I heard a little cry from Tina and I knew that the food had come out. So why here again we use past perfect simple? Look at here. Again I'm going to read it. Then I heard a little cry from Tina and I knew that the food had come out. So first the food had come out ready, then I heard the news, then I heard, for example, Tina crying, then I knew something happened. So first it need to food had come out, then other actions happen. So please pay attention. It's not like that in all the sentences first. It's not a rule that you have to write past perfect simple then past simple. No, it's not like this. You have to pay attention to the sentences. What the sentences want to understand you, want you to understand, want to inform you. So in these sentences, it's obvious that first food had to come. Yes, first food had come. Then I knew something happened. Then I heard something. Because of that, here I use past perfect simple and here past simple. Tina gave me a big hug. After that, gave me a big hug. The first aid lesson had probably saved her life. So here, look at here, it's maybe a little confusing here. The first aid lesson had probably saved her life because she understood it before, yes? Before she came and hugged me, she understood that this lesson had saved her life. Then she came and gave me a hug. So this action, maybe it's not happened. Maybe totally she come and hug me. But she understand that something before that happened. Because of that here we use past perfect simple. Don't worry, my dear friends. I know that maybe that's a little hard for you. That's a little confusing. But believe me, if you are going to do it hard, if you are going to practice a lot, you know that English, every lesson needs practice. But for understanding this grammar, because it's not your language, because it's a new language, so you need to practice more. And if you want to be fluent English speaker, if you want to understand the grammar well, so you need to practice more than this. Yes, a little more than before, yes. Maybe in the past also you practice so hard, but you need to put, for example, more effort on this. You need to practice harder. So this is also this grammar. So if you don't understand it, well, there is no problem. You can go to the beginning of the video, you can watch it again, and I hope that this time you will understand it better. So let's do something else. So this is, it's better to go to the next page. Come here. Past perfect continuous. Past perfect simple, we talked about some actions that happened in the past before another action. But what about continuous? You know that in continuous time, it mentioned the time. So for example, in this period of time, something happened. I had been traveling for 3 days last, for example, month or last year. So I mentioned the period of the time. In continuous tenses, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect. In all the continuous means something that happened for a long time, yes? For a period of time, I'm explaining it, I'm going to talk about it. So, for all of them, we mentioned the time. Look at the first example. We had been talking for hours, for 2 hours, for 3 hours, 4 hours. But I mentioned 4 hours. When we say hours, it means that more than one, yes? More than one. So I mentioned the time. And how we can, what is the structure of present past perfect continuous? If you don't remember, go and watch the previous videos, but I'm going to tell you had plus been plus verb ing. So here you are not going to use past participle form of the verb, just had, been, verb and ing. So here, I hadn't been listening to them. I hadn't been listening to them. Maybe, this is not mentioned here, but maybe for a long time, maybe 2 hours. The 2 hours that she was teaching, I hadn't been listening to them, yes? It's for a long time. How long had you been waiting? How long? This is the question form, yes? When we, in any sentences that you can see how long, okay, it means that it is continuous form. How long have you been waiting? How long had you been waiting? So because it's an action in the past, happened for a long time before another, we use how long. And because here it's mentioned that past perfect continuous, we understand that we have to make it with past perfect continuous. She had been crying all morning. Look at here, mentioned again all morning. Mentioned the long time, the period of time. Means from, I don't know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning until 11:30. She had been crying all morning. Non-stop she had been crying. I hadn't been feeling very well. I hadn't been feeling very well. Maybe for 1 week, maybe for 3 days. I was sick and I hadn't been feeling very well. How long had it been raining? How long had it been raining? Maybe it had been raining, for example, today is rainy, yes? Tomorrow maybe I can say that yesterday it had been raining all the day. I mean, it started from the morning, early morning, until the night. And maybe still now it's raining, yes? How long had it been raining? We have another exercise here, past perfect continuous, vice versa, past perfect simple. We are going to compare in some sentences when we are going to use past perfect simple and when we are going to use past perfect continuous. Look at the first one. I was disappointed. I had saved or I had been saving all year and I still didn't have enough money. Why here we use past perfect continuous? Because here we mentioned all year. Means all year I had been saving and I still didn't have enough money. From next year, from last year, I had been starting to save until this year. But again, I didn't have enough money because it mentions here all year. Dad had cooked or had been cooking all morning and the kitchen smelled great. Again, had been cooking. Why? Here again we mentioned all morning. Means it's a period of time, all morning. Dad had been cooking and the kitchen smelled great. They had eaten or hadn't been eating anything all day and they were really hungry. They hadn't eaten anything all day. Here maybe you are going to say that we have all day here. Why we are not going to use hadn't been eating here? Because It's something that in the past, before another action, yes? It's something that finished. They hadn't eaten. If we are going to say that we have all morning like this, we can say that they hadn't been eating anything all morning and they were really hungry. But here again we have another sentence that they were really hungry. It means something before another time in the past they hadn't eaten until this time finished, and because of that they were really hungry. Kevin had watched the film 5 times and he still didn't really understand it. Another thing that is the difference between past perfect simple and past perfect continuous is this. Here we mentioned the time. If in a sentences the time is mentioned, how many times something had happened, it's past perfect simple. How long something had been happening is past perfect continuous. So because here we have 5 times, it mentions how many times we use had watched. Past perfect simple. Kevin had watched the film 5 times and he still didn't really understand. Let's come here. They had walked or had been walking 50 kilometers before they saw anyone. Again, had walked, because here we mentioned how many kilometers, for example, 50 kilometers. The answer to this question is how many kilometers, 50. But if we want to say how long, for example, they had been walking for 3 hours, yes? We say the period of time. So we say they had been walking for 3 hours. But because here mentioned how many kilometers they had walked 50 kilometers before they saw anyone. So again, this action happened before this action. Before they saw anyone, they had walked, means some action finished and happened before another action. She failed the test because she hadn't written or hadn't been writing, because she hadn't written enough. There is no specific, for example, period of time. So she failed test. Why she failed? Before she failed, she hadn't written enough. If she had written enough, she didn't fail the exam. So here we use past simple, here we use past perfect simple. In this kind of sentences, that one part is past simple, one part is past perfect simple, you can understand it easily that some actions happen before another action. Yes, both of them happened in the past, but one before another one. So this is the difference also between past perfect simple, past perfect continuous. And just let's come here, what we have here. Complete the sentences with the verbs. Use one past perfect simple form and one past perfect continuous form of the verb. She didn't have any money left because she had spent it all on a new dress. One action happened before, yes? First, she had spent all her money, then she didn't have any money left to buy that dress, yes? Why? Because before buying this dress, she had spent all of them, so the money is finished. Now it's obvious that she didn't have any money. They had been spending too much money for years and now they had none left. Now they had none left. This now, it means that also past time. But because before, for years, for long years, yes, because of that here we use present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, sorry. They had been spending too much money for years, for a period of time, and now they hadn't any money. Yes, they had none left. So we play. In two sentences we are going to use one past perfect simple, one past perfect continuous. He had only been playing football for 5 minutes when he broke it. How long he had been playing? He had been playing for 5 minutes. So because we have how long for it, we use past perfect continuous. They had played all the games in house and now they were bored. So there is no specific time, yes? Before they were bored. Why they were bored here? Because they had played all the game and it's finished. And another example to understand it better, he had drunk 4 glasses of water and now he really needed the toilet. How many glasses had he drunk? He had drunk 4 glasses. So because of that he need to go to toilet, yes? But here, he had been drinking the cup of coffee for more than an hour. For more than 1 hour, for example, he went to a cafe, and he had been drinking for long time, yes, for 1 hour, and now it was cold, yes. What is the consequence? After that it was cold, but before that what happened? Because he had been drinking just a cup of coffee for 1 hour, and now it was cold. The coffee, the tea or coffee is cold because 1 hour it stayed, yes, for just 1 hour it left. So this much is enough for you, I think. Just you need to, again, as I told you, practice to do them again, to just don't watch the answer, just try to you write the answers, you guess it, and then check the answer. It's a good way to practice and understand how much do you understand this grammar. I hope it was useful for you and you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you in another videos.